Hi everyone, some gamer dude here. So this is the first of a few Yu-Gi-Oh videos I have through October. So if you're not terribly keen on Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm sorry. The final video I'm planning for the month related to Yu-Gi-Oh, I think for now, is probably one that's going to be interesting. It's an actual scripted video. The rest are openings. And I'll be talking about why I'm picking up Yu-Gi-Oh again next week. But today we're going to look at the Crystal Beast structure deck. This was actually the catalyst of coming back into Yu-Gi-Oh! For the fourth time since this channel started, I believe. But not because I wanted the Crystal Beast. A friend really likes them, said pick it up, and I'm like, I don't mind Crystal Beast. It's a cheap deck for $60, get some pretty good staples in there. I'll pick it up too. Get some content out of it, get some fun times, probably get $60 worth out of it at the end of the day. I don't care about reselling, but those Ash Blossoms probably get my money back later on anyway. So this one is about reinvigorating the Crystal Beasts. We get some new Ultimate Crystal Beasts. I think they're new, or at the very least, I don't know if they've been in the TCG before, or at least not easily accessible. None of the actual Crystal Beasts are on the decks. And it tells you about Jesse Anderson, the Power of Family, the cards, which I think all the Crystal Beasts are here, and Harmon. Extra deck tokens, I'm not sure why the tokens are here, but I've only actually ever played Crystal Beasts a little bit in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist Evolution on the Switch. I thought they were enjoyable enough out of the GX gimmicks. I'm probably leaning towards this and Cyber Dragons as the more enjoyable ones. Heroes are alright, but I'm not terribly keen on them. I really like Ancient Gears though. I do have a really old Ancient Gear deck somewhere. I probably should find it and get all the cool new stuff they've gotten and soup it up and whatnot. Because I always liked Ancient Gears. I think they're a fun playstyle with a cool aesthetic. So let's get started. So if you know current Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, that blue comes off really nicely. If you know current Yu-Gi-Oh! QR code for the rules. Don't mind that. Save paper. I mean, I know it's the Blizzard thing. Don't you own a phone? But most people do own a phone. I'm copying this myself. And the only paperwork is a manual, well not a manual, paper playmat that on the back tells you a little bit about how to use the deck. Which it's Crystal Beast, it's not too difficult. It's basically load up your spell and trap zones because you think you're playing pendulums and then you don't. So that's the sheet. And it's got Rainbow Dragon, the upgrade, which is Rainbow Overdragon or Ultimate Crystal Dragon, that just tells you about summoning him special. The what's it called? The field spell and other stuff you can get for the deck, though I don't think I will be. I think if there's any Cyber Dragons, not Cyber Dragons, any Crystal Beasts that aren't here, I'd have to look that up and look into them. I'm not terribly keen on the Neos stuff, but I know my friend's probably going to get the Neos stuff to go with it. I've been told you can use Dragon's Mirror with it. I'm not sure on that. I'd have to look at the cards, but I do have Dragon's Mirror somewhere. And as I've said to them actually, again, I don't know where all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards are. Learn the basics here, scan it, beginner's guide. I actually really like this idea. I actually wonder if I could move the QR code on the special card in the deck, or should I just leave it on the box? That'd be interesting for my own use. So where's the little tab? Hopefully it's... Where is the little tab? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Get this open. I'm curious what the foils are in the deck. So, Rainbow Dragon being foils seems normal. I actually wonder if all the Crystal Beast cards have been done for, because Crystal's foil seems about right. This card is always treated as an Ultimate Crystal card, because I think that it has that in its name in Japanese. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by having 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names on your field or in your graveyard. I didn't know it did from the graveyard too. You cannot activate the following effects that turn this card as special summon. That seems restrictive. You can send all crystal-based monsters you control to the graveyard. This card gains 100 attack for each card sent to the graveyard. You can banish all crystal-based monsters in your graveyard. Shuffle all cards on the field back into the deck. Oh, my dragon has a little dent down the bottom. Oh. Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. That's a mouthful of words. 1 Ultimate Crystal Monster plus 7 Crystal Base Monsters. So, Rainbow Dragon, I guess. Oh jeez, there's 20 text. It's not too small, but it is not fun to read. Must be special summoned from your extra deck. During a duel, you summon an ultimate crystal-based monster by banishing the above monsters from your field or graveyard. That's a really interesting summoning condition. That is actually really interesting. While 7 or more of your crystal-based monsters with different names are banished, this card gains 7,000 attack. If this card has not battled this turn, quick effect, you contribute this card. Shuffle as many cards on the field as possible into the deck. If you do, special summon any number of crystal-based monsters. So it's a big 11,000 beat stick, or you can shuffle everything back on the field, which is interesting. And then, can you actually get 8,000 worth of crystal base? We're gonna have to do the maths. I'm interested in that. Crystal-based Rainbow Dragon. So there's a crystal-based Rainbow Dragon. I didn't know that. So, if this face-up card is destroyed in a monster zone, plays a face-up spell and drop the zone as a continuous spell. I really think that'd be Pendulum if made today. That's actually interesting. Instead of sending it to your graveyard, you can only use each of the following effects of crystal-based Rainbow Dragon once per turn. When an attack is declared involving a crystal-based monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this card, trade it as a continuous spell, special summon 1 level 4 lower crystal-based from your deck, but negate its effect. And if you do, add 1 ultimate crystal-based from your deck to your hand. So when one of your crystal-based declare an attack, you can special summon it, and when it be destroyed, it becomes a spell or trap. And you can banish this card as a continuous spell to special summon 1 level 4 although it's crystal based. So it's got 3 effects here, but you can only use once of them per turn. And if you special summon, and if you do, you get an ultimate crystal based monster. So that would be Rainbow Dragon from your deck to your hand. So you replace the crystal base because it'll be banishing itself, so it won't count as in the graveyard because banishes from different game. And then, yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. So we're really going into the Para family thing. That's actually really nice for me. During your main phase, you can normal summon 1 crystal-based monster in addition to your normal summon such set. You can only use this effect once per turn. You can only use each of the following effects of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 crystal-based card you control or in your hand. You can destroy cards in the hand now, and if you do, I think I mean discard, add 1 crystal spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which also lines up the graveyard for Rainbow Dragon. If a crystal-based card placed into your spell and trap zone, even during the damage step, you can add 1 card your opponent, target 1 card your opponent controls, return both that card and this card to your hand. So, that's actually pretty interesting. Crystal Bond? Oh, that's actually, Jesse. Add 1 crystal-based monster from your deck to your hand and place 1 crystal-based monster with a different name from your deck face up in the spell or trap zone as a continuous spell. You can only activate 1 Crystal Bond once per turn. That's actually pretty interesting. Rainbow Overdragon, 7 crystal-based monsters. Always considered an ultimate crystal card. Must be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing 1 level 10 ultimate crystal monster. Rainbow Dragon is level 10. So tribute Rainbow Dragon. Ultimate crystal Rainbow Dragon, does it go off this as well? No, but you can fuse into this. That's interesting. Interesting. Once per turn, so it's basically a fusion deck version of Rainbow Dragon, by the sound of it. But can also be used Rainbow Dragon to get it out. You can banish one crystal-based monster from your graveyard. This game against attacks equal to the banished monster until the end of the turn. Quick effect, you contribute, summon this fusion, summon card, shuffle all cards back into the deck. So it can just basically nuke the opponent as a reactive effect. That's pretty cool. I didn't know the tokens would be foil. Jesse Anderson, it bonded with the crystal base. It's considered any token. It's pretty cool. Jesse and Ruby unleashing the legend. That's pretty nice. Here we go, Ruby Carbuncle. If this card is special summon, you can special summon as many crystal-based monster cards as possible from your spell or trap zones. I'm not sure how you special summon it though, but we might see. If this card is destroyed in a monster zone, you can place it face up as a continuous spell instead of setting it into the graveyard. Amethyst Cat. It's nice. This card can attack your opponents directly, but when it uses its effect, any damage it inflicts to your opponent is halved, and the same Crystal Beast effect. Once per turn, you can target one monster you control that attack this turn, change that target's defense position. If this face-up card and normal monster stuff, I don't think Emerald Tortoise is particularly useful. Topaz Tiger, when it attacks an opponent's monster, it becomes a 2000 attacker. I like it. Amber Mammoth. Actually, I think it's really neat that the extinct animal is amber. It's a nice reference to Jurassic Park. When another crystal-based monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can change the attack target to this card and then normal crystal-based effects. Once per turn, you can add target one crystal-based you control, place that on top of your deck, and then the rest effects. I don't know how useful that is. Sapphire Pegasus, when it's special summon, you can place one crystal-based monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up into your spawn trap zone, and then normal crystal-based effects. Rainbow Dark Dragon, this is one I'm not particularly familiar with. So, this card is always treated as an ultimate crystal card, so that's another one of them. Cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 7 dark monsters with different names from your graveyard. What? You can banish all other dark monsters from your field and graveyard. This card gains 500 attack for each card banished away. I don't know how that fits in the rest of the deck. I really don't. We'll see. Oh, pendulums. Crystal Master. Okay. Is it considered crystal based? Your opponent cannot target ultimate crystal monsters you control or crystal beast monsters you control with card effects. That's interesting. You can tribute this card, add one ultimate crystal based monster or crystal spell trap card from your deck to your hand. That's also a crystal spell trap, isn't it? Crystal Keeper. That really looks like Jesse with different hair. So it only makes a pendulum of 3 and 4. That's interesting. But all the crystal bases are 3 and 4, aren't they? But they're not pendulums. Okay. Each turn, the first time an ultimate crystal monster or crystal beast cards you control would be destroyed by card effects this turn, it is not destroyed. If a crystal beast monster you control battles an opponent's monster, actually these are both 3 and 4 as well. You contribute this card from your hand or face up on the field. Your battling monster's attack and defense become double the original attack and defense during the damage step calculation only, but is destroyed the engine. I don't know how useful those actually are. I'd have to actually look up how to use them. Maybe it's on the back of the map. Harmon, Lord of Striking Thunder, that's one of the dark sacred beasts. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing 3 face-up continuous spells. Hello, the crystal base. And they set up Rainbow Dragon in that. That's interesting. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. While this card is face-up defense position, monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. So it has magnetism. Dimension Shifter. If you have no cards in your graveyard, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard until the end of next turn. Any card effect, this card sent to your graveyard, sent to the graveyard, is banished instead. Interesting. Contact C. I think this is one of these. There's a few of these C cards around now. I think they're all hand traps. I didn't know they were insects. When your opponent normal special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's side of the field in defense position. This card's controller cannot fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon unless they use this card as material. Interesting. Ash Blossom, Joy Spring. Now this is worth about half of what the deck is actually over. When a card or effect activated includes any of the following effects, quick effect, you can discard this card to negate that effect. Add a card from your deck to your hand, special summon from the deck. Send a card from the deck to the graveyard. You can only use... yeah, that last one's going to be really annoying to go against with other decks I've got. You can only use this effect of Ash Blossom and the Joy Spring once per turn. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. This is another one of these cards. I didn't realize they were tuners. When a card or effect activated includes any of the following effects, quick effect, you can discard this card to negate the activation. Add a card from the graveyard to the hand, deck, or extra deck. Special summon monsters from the graveyard. Banish a card from the graveyard, and you can only use this effect of Ghost Ball once per turn. I get why they exist, but wow, that is a no fun card, really. I think it has to exist. I really do think that Infinite Impermanence is a much better design space than the trap monsters, hand traps. I get why Karibo exists, and I think it's neat, and I think it's cool that they did more in that design space. But I think given traps have their problems, Infinite Impermanence is a better design. Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. Reveal one Ultimate Crystal monster from your hand, then activate one of these effects. If you control an Ultimate Crystal monster, you can activate one or two of these effects in sequence instead, and you do not have to reveal a monster. Take one Rainbow Bridge card or one Rainbow Refraction from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Well, we haven't seen Rainbow Refraction, but searching for Rainbow Bridge... oh no, wait, that's Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, it's not Rainbow Bridge. Okay, we haven't seen that yet. Special summon one Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, graveyard, or spell and trap zone. Okay, you can only activate this once per turn. So you get a special summon and you get a Rainbow Bridge or Rainbow Refraction. Crystal Aegis. Target one crystal-based monster card you control, destroy it. I just want to check something. As a continuous spell. So do the crystal base become continuous spells, or are considered continuous spells as well as monsters? I'm going to have to check that out. Target one crystal-based monster you control, destroy it, and then special summon one crystal-based token. That'll be those token cards. With the destroyed monster's original type, attribute, level, and attack/defense. If a crystal-based if a crystal-based card is placed... God, that reads badly. Into your spell trap zone while this card is in your graveyard, even during your damage step, you can banish this card, special summon one crystal-based monster from your spell trap zone. So it can add as defense. Interesting how that sounds like a quick effect. Doesn't mention it. And you can only use this effect once per turn. Ancient City, Rainbow Ruins. That's text. That's their field spell card. Now this one I did like. You must have this many crystal beast cards in your spell and trap zone to activate and resolve these effects. 1. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects, that's very useful. 2. This once per turn, including your opponent's turn, half the battle damage you take. 3. When a spell or trap card is activated, you can send 1 Crystal Beast monster you control to the graveyard. Negate the activation if you do destroy. That's why I'm questioning if the Crystal Beast is still considered monsters while in the spell or trap zone, because it says as a continuous spell, it doesn't say it becomes a continuous spell. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can draw 1 card. That is really deadly for 4. That is insanely powerful. And for 5, that's a full board. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can target 1 Crystal Beast in your spell or trap zone and special summon it. My main problem is, at the moment, I really like the idea of, this is just me thinking while I'm opening it, I really love the idea of Crystal Beast getting pendulum cards, not just because I like pendulums, but because it suits the deck's identity. Monsters are spell and traps, it feels like it's a no-brainer, but then they go and make them not Crystal Beasts, and it kind of, in my opinion, interferes with them a bit. Maybe I'm wrong. This is Rainbow Bridge. Add 1 Crystal Spell Trap card from your deck to your hand. Okay. Crystal Beacon, special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck. You must have 2 or more Crystal Beasts in your spell trap zone to activate and resolve this effect. It loads up. Crystal Blessing, target up to 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your graveyard. Place those cards as in your spell trap zone as continuous spells. Crystal Abundance, send 4 Crystal Beast cards from your spell trap zone to your graveyard. Send as many cards on the field as possible to the graveyard. Then special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your graveyard up to the number of cards sent from your opponent's field to the graveyard by this effect. Also, it starts nuking your opponent's board. That's really cool. Crystal Promise, target 1 Crystal Beast in spell and trap zone, special summon it. Crystal Tree. Each time a Crystal Beast monster is placed in either player's spell or trap zone, place 1 crystal counter on this card. You can send this card to your graveyard, take a number of Crystal Beast monsters from your deck equals the number of crystal counters that were on this card, and then place them face up in your spell trap zone as continuous spells. So I think you get a plus 2 out of it most of the time. Crystal Release, only equipped to a Crystal Beast monster, gains 800 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, that's actually good wording, you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck face up into the spell trap zone as a continuous spell. Rare value, if you control 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in your spell trap zone, your opponent chooses 1 Crystal Beast card in your spell trap zone, you send it to the graveyard. Rainbow Dragon don't care. If you do, draw 2 cards. Because if I'm correct, again, Rainbow Dragon, by having 7 different names on the field or in the graveyard. This is the Rainbow Refraction card. Okay. If a monster you control whose original name is Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dark Dragon activated its effect this turn, special summon any number of Crystal Beasts with different names from your deck. So you're kind of promoted to run at least 2 of each of the Crystal Beasts there. Advanced Dark. Oh, it's a different field spell. I didn't expect them to have 2. All Crystal Beast monsters on the field and in the graveyard become dark. That's how you get Rainbow Dark Dragon. If an Ultimate Crystal monster attacks, negate the effects of the attack target during the battle phase. During damage calculation, if a Crystal Beast monster you control battles and you would take damage, send 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your graveyard, you take no damage from that battle. So where was Crystal Dark again? Where is it? So many cards here. Nope. Rainbow Dark, there it is. So these cards are designed to work together. Banish 7 dark monsters. You can banish all the dark monsters. So basically, you start filling it up with all the other dark crystal beasts, and then this guy just becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay. Melody of the Awakening Dragon. That's a recent card, isn't it? Because it's the new Lord of D. Discard a card, add up to 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. Oh, okay, it works with Rainbow Dark and Rainbow Dragon. Okay. So, nice +2. No, it's not a +2, it's a net 1, but you want the crystal base in the graveyard. Foolish Burial Goods. Send 1 spell/trap from your deck to your graveyard. You can only activate this once per turn. I'm curious how good that is. Cosmic Cyclone, it banishes the card, the spell trap. Pay 1,000 life points. That's actually pretty cool. Crystal Boone. Special summon up to 2 crystal-based monsters from your spell trap zone, and if you do, you gain life points equal to their combined original attack. If a crystal-based card is placed into your spell trap zone while this card is in your graveyard, even during the damage step, you can banish this card, excavate the top card of your deck. I think excavate is look at the top card, scry 1, or it's just peek. If it's a crystal-based monster, either add it to your hand or special summon it. Otherwise, send that card to your graveyard. You can only use the effect of Crystal Boone once per turn. Oh, okay. Crystal Miracle, a counter trap. When a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, destroy 1 crystal beast card you control. And if you do, negate that activation. And if you do that, destroy that card. If a crystal beast card is placed in your spell trap zone while this card is in your graveyard, even during the damage step, you can banish this card plus 1 crystal based monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell trap zone. And yeah, first effect, not that bad, but it's very, very, very slow. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Crystal Brilliance. You can only control 1 Crystal Brilliance. Each crystal based monster you control gains attack equal to its original defense. Ooh, that's actually really neat. They become really strong, but again, it's taking up space in your spell trap zone. If a crystal-based monster is placed in your spell trap zone, even during the damage step, you can send this face-up card to your graveyard. Special summon 1 crystal-based monster from your hand or graveyard. Also, any damage you take this turn is halved. It's pretty neat. I mean, it's slow because it's a trap card, but it's neat. Crystal Pair. Is that an admission that they're the best ones? When a crystal-based monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. Oh, so you don't make it a continuous spell. Place 1 crystal-based monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. If you do, you take no battle damage for the rest of the turn. So you set up the different names. That's interesting. Crystal Concave. Once per turn, if a face-up crystal-based monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 crystal-based monster from your deck. That's where Carbuncle comes in. There's actually been a few cards that work with Carbuncle. The special summon as many of the crystal-based from your spell trap, so you just flood the field with them. And where was it? Crystal Brilliance powers them up. You get a lot of value out of it. You can send this card face up from the field to the graveyard, then target 1 crystal-based card you control and 1 card on the field. Return them to your hand. You cannot activate these effects on the same chain. Ultimate Crystal Magic. When your crystal-based monster is destroyed by battle, you can send 7 crystal-based cards with different names from your hand, deck, and or face up on the field to the graveyard. Well, that just sets that up and takes all the fun away. Special summon 1 Ultimate Crystal Fusion monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a fusion summon. If a face-up crystal-based monster you control leaves the field because of your opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Place any number of crystal-based monsters from your graveyard face-up into your spell trap zone as continuous spells. Grab 4 and then use some way to bring them out. Crystal Brilliance. Okay. Counter Gem. Send all cards in your spell and trap zone to the graveyard. Place as many crystal-based monsters from your graveyard as spell trap zones. I don't know how useful that is. And at the end of the turn, destroy all crystal-based cards you control. I don't really think that's useful. Ferret Flames. Oh, that's pretty... Oh, he's farting. It's funny. Don't worry. America's going to ban this card. You won't have to worry about it. They ban animals farting there. If the combined attack of all face-up monsters your opponent controls is higher than your life points, make your opponent shuffle monsters with 0, except those with 0 attack, so that the combined attack of the remaining monsters they control becomes less than or equal to your life points. Equal to is going to be hard, so less than is probably likely. Metaverse. It's Facebook or Yu-Gi-Oh! Take one field spell from your deck and either activate it or add it to your hand. So it's terraforming as a trap. Okay. Crystal-based token. Master Jewel. That's the new thing. Peggy 7. I haven't tried Master Jewel yet. I really should get around to it. I've heard it's very friendly. In terms of... Oh, it's Duel Links up to Arc 5. Oh, I might have to get back into it. I like Arc 5. Legacy of the Duelists. We always get those. Power of the Elements. And then the how to play. Crystal Beasts look fun. Again, I'm kind of... I think someone's going to have to explain to me why the Pendulum cards exist. Because it really feels like, especially with the rules changes, that the Pendulum... the Crystal Beasts, I should say, really should have just gone into Pendulums. Because it fits their mechanics better. Even if it's just 4 and 5 to get the Crystal Beasts out. And one that makes all normal crystal-based pendulum cards, or even a card that just says Ruby Carbuncle becomes a pendulum card, gains a pendulum typing, and then it special summons the other 3 ones from the Spoiled Trap Zone, or even special summons the 2 from the pendulums. It really feels like there's something missing with the how the crystal base work. Like, there's design space that is either being avoided or something. Anyway, I'm looking forward to trying this out. I think it looks like a lot of fun. I think it's neat. I don't know if I'll be using it as much as my Shadol or Cyberdark decks, but yeah. Till next time, friends, this has been some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.